and welcome to the Roundtable Asia special. With me today, of course, as always, Mr. Felix.
Hi guys.
We got Philip Wilhelm,
Hello.
Eddie from Hong Kong, and Gabriel from Hong Kong. And we have a lot of interesting questions, and it's a really interesting story behind all of this. And I don't know, do you want to introduce yourself first, Eddie? Or?
Sure, absolutely. So yeah, my name is Eddie. I'm currently in the Hong Kong China's men's and women's team coach, and I'm also helping out in the federation. And my roots are from Sweden, so I'm born and raised in Sweden. And basically, after my university years, I decided to go to Hong Kong and work. And then at that moment, I thought like maybe I won't be playing for a while. But then in the end, it ended up that I even are more committed to floorball than I was in Sweden.
Okay, so how did that happen? As in, did you know about this before you went to Hong Kong? Went back to Hong Kong?
Actually not,
Okay.
because when I studied university, I got like an offer over there for my for other jobs, like my university jobs, and then I just went there because I wanted to try something new out, because my whole life had been like floorball and studies. So I wanted to take a opportunity to learn something else and see the world. So I decided to go to Hong Kong, and then basically after COVID, then I came back, like because I was traveling around in Asia a lot, and then I came back to Hong Kong again and stayed find like a stable job, and then I got into floorball. Yeah.
Okay, so that was COVID, so that's around 2021, 22?
Yeah, later on, like the second wave.
Okay. And fast forward, how much has floorball grown in Hong Kong since you first arrived?
It have grown a lot. Firstly, one of the reasons why I helped out in the federation in Hong Kong was because we changed our chairman. So our current chairman is Chris Law. So he is a very dedicated person to this sport. He is like fully committed. He played by himself as well, and he inspired me to help him out as well. So when he took over, he contacted me as well. Back then, I already knew him because I was like playing with them or coaching them just for fun, like during my spare time. And then he said like, yeah, he had taken over the federation and wanted to have some floorball people in the federation that knows about floorball and maybe have been in Sweden before and have experience basically. So I saw his commitment to the sport, and then I decided to try this path. And now I have been trying it for 2 years.
Well, I mean, it's fantastic because just like we spoke about it a little bit yesterday, Felix, about the development and how it's improving and how it looks like it's kind of proper in the way that you have a lot of lefties. So it looks really good to us. How is it going? Is it mainly through schools, or how do you try to push the sport?
So we have different ways to push it. I would say like we are quite lucky in a way that floorball is so developed in Singapore, because then we kind of have a blueprint how it works. So like a lot of times we will take like inspiration from other Asian countries that do it well, and we have many other Asian countries that do floorball very well, and they have different approaches to it. Then to be fair, I think like Hong Kong's approach is a little bit similar to Singapore, because we also try to push it in schools first. So before we came to Singapore for an Asia Open, then we actually have like a school tournament. So it's hosted every year. So for that we have like secondary school and also lower grade schools. And then it's around, right now we have had it for 2 years. So we can see like the schools is getting more committed to this sport, and also they are sending their teams over for this inter-school competition, and it's held yearly. I think for this year we have over 30 schools playing in the whole tournament.
That's great.
Yeah, and at the same time, this year we also secured a court inside like a shopping mall.
Okay.
So that's a very, I think, a very key for our sport in Hong Kong, because that's like a free marketing for us, because that's where the Hong Kong team is also training. So basically, people will walk around the shopping mall and also see this sport, and then they will start to look like what kind of sport is this, and we have like QR codes you can scan, and then you can see videos and understand the sport. And then we have yearly like selection for the Hong Kong team as well. So I would say like that's the main category we go into is into the schools system.
Sounds fantastic. I don't know if you have any questions. I mean, I could ask questions the whole day.
I was thinking a lot about when you get started with a sport like in Hong Kong. How is the general cultural approach to doing sports as a young kid being in school and having all the other stuff you do as a kid? What is the cultural approach to put your time on spending floorball, would you say?
That's a really big difference between Sweden and Hong Kong, I would say. I learned it by being there for like now 2 years, like in the schools, because I will help schools with development and stuff like that. I could see that already after basically, even in kindergarten, they are quite like harsh or like quite disciplined regarding their grades. So basically, like even for kindergarten, they have to do interviews, the kids. So they have to learn what to say and like learn maybe tasks they have to do during the interview. So like for me, when I saw that first time, I was like, I couldn't understand, because like as you guys know, like in Sweden we are quite chill. I would say like the school is not going maybe first all the time. Like we are quite free to do sports and stuff like that. But in Hong Kong, I would say like it's always study goes first. So basically, even in different schools, like they have school teams, but if they are not too good in the school, they are not allowed to play in the school team as well.
That's interesting. It's quite a challenge to have the balance and not be like in Sweden we try to get the balance from, but we're on the other side when we do too much of sports. Yeah. But looking at the Hong Kong teams here in SJOP, it's really obvious that they have a lot of inspiration, because they play in a way that makes me think like they watch a lot of floorball from Europe, or they have like role models. How would you say they consume floorball? Is it just watching people play in Hong Kong, or do they watch people abroad as well?
I would say like, so the approach for the federation, what we have done is try to compete in all IFF tournaments. To give the opportunity to everyone to see the work. So we understand also maybe our result is not the best, but at least we know it's a step we have to take in order for the current generation to get exposure to the real floorball and understand it, so they can teach the younger generation. And we have one of the players with me today, is Gabriel. He was also in 3-3 recently. He also saw the Swedish player play, and in those kind of way, I see that he's one of the younger generation players. He will get very inspired, even though like even during trainings they will ask me different stuff. But I will also say like maybe some part I'm quite limited to teach. I will also tell them to watch maybe certain players on YouTube, because it's quite easy to watch YouTube now. So like for example, if they really want to learn certain stuff. For example, if they want to learn finishing and stuff like that, I would tell them to watch certain players on YouTube to look how they play, look at full match, how they move on the court. And I would say in that part, that's also a very, very, I would say like a Hong Kong culture maybe. They like to study a lot. So they will actually go and watch the clip, because I understand they will ask me questions and I see they actually watch the whole game like in like a little bit like when you play professionally in Sweden, like more like they are actually watching the whole game minute by minute and breaking it down.
Yeah, I feel it's always funny. I feel like it's a little bit similar in Singapore. When you teach kids about stuff, they're really, really listening and they're really doing the work. So you have to be really careful about what you say, what you teach, because they're really gonna wait on it and really focus on it. So yeah, you better be focused as a teacher, because the students really are.
Really sharp.
Well, speaking of Gabriel, can we hear a little bit more about about Gabriel?
Yeah.
About his when he started playing floorball, why he started playing floorball, and what he wants to do with floorball in the future.
佢仲想問下你點解開始打呢個運動啦？打咗幾耐啊？同埋你將來想即係呢個運動係想打到乜嘢嘅有冇印象？盡情咁講。幾多歲開始？
7歲開始打 Floorball，之後嗰陣時候喺學校校隊，咁我就打，即係就揀咗 Floorball 裏邊嘅校。
So I will directly translate. So he started at 7 and in the school team. So basically he could choose different sport in his school. So back then he saw floorball and thought it was fun, so he tried it in the school. 之後
之後去咗瑞典同埋芬蘭打波咯，啲人去打波同埋學嘢咯，
And so he said like back then when he started to play in the school team, he also got the chance from the school to, they had like an exchange program in the school to go to Finland. So at that time he also got the chance to go to Finland and Sweden. And during that period, because his school was also focusing on floorball, then he could also get exposure to the floorball in Finland and Sweden. Yeah.
So-
即係我上次
So it was like later on, maybe around like 12. So he played for the school team for a few years and then he went to Finland.
How old is he now?
They got 15.
15. Okay. And he went to 3v3 with Philip.
Yeah.
So how was your experience in Spain watching 3v3 and all those superstars on the Swedish team?
你覺得啱啱你新聞啊，嗰個3v3，你去嗰個感受如何？可以睇到呢啲經驗，你覺得？
我好開心咯！首先就係因為可以見到即係咁多球星打波，可以學到好多嘢咯，即係可以見到佢點樣猜波啊，點樣射波啊，即係總之就係成個西班牙就真係學咗好多嘢咯。
He was like, he said like he was super happy and excited when he came there because there were so many formal stars and so many good players. And when he went there, he actually learned a lot by just watching all the how they play, all the technical skills and the shooting skills. So he tried to absorb as much as he could during that.
It's fantastic. You know what? The first thing that comes to my mind when I listen to him is he's going to be really successful in everything he does because he seems to analyze and put it all together. So I think you got a future superstar floorball and that person in general right there. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, I was thinking about your experience at the 3v3 World Cup.
Yeah.
Anything to say about that?
In Chinese, please.
Yeah. But it would take a while.
I really enjoyed the 3v3 World Championship. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to watch the whole team play, but I really liked that there's so many teams from different nations and different parts of the world. I mean, we had teams from Africa, from Asia, from the US, Brazil, and a lot of teams from Europe. So it was really, really fun to see and see the way that floorball is developing all over the world. I think you should not, you can't really compare it to like the normal World Championship in terms of competition. I think it's quite good to have this as a separate event where players from all over the world can come since they only need like maybe 6 players in total to compete. So a really nice experience and a really nice way of sharing and progression for.
And I really think that you're onto something when you say like you need to be available, make people available to go. Like if you just put the barrier down a bit, just come play. It's not like the World Cup, it's not the Olympics, it's just like a fun tournament. Then it's easy to go, because then maybe there's more tournaments like the SG Open where we can meet from different countries, take inspiration from each other, because that's key, I think, for floorball development. That you have some kind of picture of, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna play like this player. That's what I did when I was a kid. I always pretended to be the player I wanted to be. But I needed inspiration from someone in order to do it. And I feel like it's really helping the developing floorball world to grow better. So that's super inspiring that you're playing on the same tournament.
And I also think that it's quite important that the top nations are really sending the best players. I feel like Sweden, we set up a good team, better than the other top nations. But as I understand from you, you want to see like the top players, not the level below. So I think that's a takeaway for top nations. We really want to show our best players for our nations.
And you, Eddie, one question to you. In 5 years' time, where do you see Hong Kong?
5 years time, then I have a dream, and then I have also a realistic goal. So of course, my dream is in 5 years time we have Hong Kong, China playing against Sweden in the final, and of course winning. That's a big dream, and that's I think we as a federation should strive for. If we're gonna do it, then we're gonna be fully committed to do it. But a realistic goal to see how it works right now and the current training schedule we have and all the opportunities and all the resources we have in Hong Kong. I would say like I will be very proud of the whole federation if we could even in any category like in youth or women's or men's make it out from AOFC, like from the Asian qualification.
Yeah.
So I think within these 5 years, that's our like realistic goal we have set for ourselves.
Yeah. I feel like it's quite realistic, right? Watching the Hong Kong young players play, the level is good, and it's only going to get better.
Yeah. And for you, Gabriel, same question. What do you see yourself in 5 years?
年之後，希望佢係 UFC 嗰啲比賽可以攞到成績咯，可以去即係贏咗之後就可以去打 final 嗰啲咯。
So he said like yeah, he want to within these 5 years as well to make a good result in the Asia tournaments qualifications and make it out and to the world stage and play like the bigger finals and stuff like that.
That's fantastic. I wish you all the best of luck. Any other questions from your side?
No, thank you.
I have one question. You mentioned it earlier, like the hooks that they have in Hong Kong. And you said that you used other Asian nations as a blueprint. But I feel like many of the other Asian nations, they are struggling a bit with too many ridings. But from what I saw in your trainings, you didn't really have the same problem. Do you have any idea why? Or?
I would say so. So we will always take the other Asian as blueprint, but in a way, I also believe that we have to use our strength. And I would say like maybe our strength right now is that federation is so small. So and I'm also from Sweden, so I will have maybe more European thought process behind everything, and then I will push it into the federation as well. And I think that will make us different compared to the other Asian countries how we develop. And as you said as well, the righty problem, I also saw that when we play against Singapore and stuff like that. I see the Singaporean players. So this is also something we as a federation have been pushing. Like even when we teach instructors in schools and we teach instructors in Hong Kong how to teach the kids, we are quite keen on the basic stuff that we teach it. So the basic stuff is, I would say, more similar to Sweden. Like first day we go with like fun goes first, and then it's like you don't have to use certain like left hand and right hand. You can try both, but I would prefer you to play a certain way. And then usually a lot of even in Hong Kong we have a struggle. So how we solve that is usually a lot of kids they would put a right stick in their hand and say like this is more comfortable. And then you see them run around and they change to left side. But then you would tell them during training try to play with one hand. And they understand like oh no, then actually I should play on the left. Because when they play with one hand on the right, they always lose the ball. So we will make some drills with one hand. And they have an understanding of, oh, this is how it is. And then we will tell the kids, now during training we will teach you always with two hands, but later on you will start to play with one hand. That's why you have to play.
That's really clever way of
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more question. I've seen some great floorball productions on social media coming out of Hong Kong. Is there any strategizing behind that, trying to make it increase the reach of the league and clubs?
Yeah, of course. And there is something we have been thinking about in the federation and have been trying to do as well. Because in that part, I would say like we can see that in Singapore, especially this year. In Singapore in general as well, they're pushing a lot in social media, especially the clubs here in Singapore. And I think what they do in the social media is quite good and like good looking and inspiring. Like people want to do this work. And we understand in the federation as well, because this sport is so new in Hong Kong, we have to use this platform to reach more players. But the limit right now is also that we don't have enough manpower to put it fully out. But this is something we like for this year also are trying to solve and also try to push more.
Yeah. Sounds great. I look forward to following the Hong Kong development.
Yeah, and if you still have 2 days to catch them. Philip, of course, for Team Sweden that played a fantastic game against Czech Republic yesterday. They had everything, including a little bit of physical activity going on, as well as Hong Kong, who are here for 2 more days. Don't miss this chance to see them and actually watch Hong Kong and how they play. We are all extremely impressed by you.
Really impressive. Yes.
That's all from this segment of the Roundtable Asia Special, and we'll see you soon again.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.